Hello, my lovely hummingbirds. How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to another episode of Makeup and Motivation here on Pop Culture with your lovely host, Monroe. Yeah, so life's pretty crazy right now. Sorry that I disappeared for a fucking week. Life's pretty fucking crazy right now. A lot of back end stuff going on, and honestly, I'm hoping you guys like what I'm putting out and what's to come. Anyway, on today's episode, because I'm determined to get this review out for Wednesday, we will be doing a Raven-inspired look. Well, Ravenclaw, to be specific. I did this look a while back it was in congruence for a TikTok that I did for a poem that I wrote titled Raven, and I thought, how much more perfect can it be? Because, the school's called Nevermore in the show. So we're gonna do a look half Harry Potter, half Wednesday. But I hope you enjoyed the look. I absolutely love it. It's a darker look for sure. And today's topic of conversation is going to be imposter syndrome. Yay! There's many reasons for that, mainly being I've been feeling it this past week, and it got talked about during the Oscars, the Academy Awards or whatever, and I was like, oh, it's a thing. And it was just said on national television where people are realizing that this is very much so a thing. That's cool. So yeah, we're gonna talk about it now, because how can I just come forward and share all this stuff and not attack myself in the process, right? Anyway, okay, I hope you like the look. I love you. Bye. To kick us off for today's look, we're going to go in there with the LimeCrime Venus II palette in the shade Boot. Very spacey, galactic-y looking black there. And we are going to put that all on the outer corners of our eyelids. Make it look like the wings of a raven. Once you've gone ahead and done that, we're going to go in with the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette in the shade Danger. It is this really pretty deep navy blue that we got going on there. Gotta match the stripes on my fucking shirt there. And you're going to go ahead and add that as the second layer, really emphasizing forward that raven's wing. Once you've gone ahead and brought that forward, you're going to go in there with the Saharan by Juvia in the shade Iman. And in order to deepen it, we're going to go in there with the shade Revolt from the Urban Decay defunct fucking palette that doesn't exist anymore. But if you got a silvery one, just pack it on there and mix them together so you get a very bright upper brow bone area. And once you look at that, we need a little bit more pop. So from the Urban Decay Electric palette, we're going to go in there with the shade Chaos. And you're going to put that on the front part of your lid, but also you're going to accentuate the upper part in between the brow bone and the other two shades so that you have a little bit more bright neon navy blue added to it. Because, what is Nevermore but chaos, honestly. Now, because Ravenclaw in the books is actually a bronze and blue, we're going to go in with the Saharan by Juvia in the shade Senegal. And here you're going to do half Starry Night, Van Gogh, half looking like a fucking talon is crawling onto your eyelid, because why the fuck not? And you're really gonna pack it on there so that it like layers nicely over the other pigments, because all of these pigments are very pigmented. And we gotta really pack it on there so that they all shine on through. Now while we do that, I'm gonna go apply the rest of my face, but in the meantime you can go ahead and follow me on all of my handles. And there it is. She's giving, quoth the raven, nevermore. She's giving, I have to write my fucking book. What Wednesday say? I have to dedicate an hour every day. She's giving, I'm in love with a scene queen. She's giving, oh my god, I live by the stars and bleed by the moon. Anyways, my lovely hummingbirds, if this is where you're leaving me, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos. Y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna. If not, join me for today's topic of conversation, imposter syndrome. Okay, personally, I'm ready for Nevermore. Or Hogwarts, whichever, but I'm ready. Let's fucking go. Hello, my lovely hummingbirds, and welcome back to another episode of Makeup and Motivation here on Pop Culture with your lovely host, Monroe. What's poppin'? Yes, it's a Lord of the Rings month. I need caffeine more than I usually need caffeine. I actually am tired this time. Well, I'm usually tired. That's on depression. I haven't been sleeping is essentially what I'm trying to say. Look at me, just like a roving clock, can't articulate for shit. No, but yeah, insomnia's been a bitch of late, which is crazy because like I've been sleeping properly, but not properly because like hours are not whatever the fuck they're supposed to be. Anyway. Yes, I'm staring at myself. Oh my god, look. It's so pretty. So I was going for like half Van Gogh, half original Ravenclaw colors, plus whatever it ended up being in the film. The original Ravenclaw colors were navy and a deep gold. And then in the film they ended up being silver. But... my rambling aside, today's topic of conversation, as you so saw, my lovely hummingbirds, is imposter syndrome. ¿Por qué el síndrome del impostor? Well, over the course of the past week, couple weeks, I have been in this mode of like really doing what the fuck I gotta do on the back end for y'all. As far as like content goes and making sure like everything is set up and then I have like a schedule and all the good fun shit of it, the process of it all. And through that, I have to some degree been pushing myself to like communicate with other creators more and people that I, God willing, will get on pop culture at some point. And when I had gotten correspondence from a few people, I damn near shit myself. I cried, I jumped for joy. It was beautiful. Who it is, can't tell y'all. I've had correspondence with a few people, and honestly, it's been such a learning experience this past week. This week coming up for me is a very difficult week. It's a traumatic anniversary. And I thought I was fine. Also, that's also been really impacting it. But like, my body had like pre-anxiety for a week. Did a whole lot of sleeping, which is in preparation for like everything my body's going to feel at the end of this week. And crazy times. It is Endometriosis Awareness Month, which like I am a pawn on the chessboard of the universe, but we're gonna leave that alone for now. Imposter syndrome. What the fuck does any of that have to do with it? I've been doing pop culture for years now. going on 3 this May. Officially independent, which I don't know how I feel about pop culture being a tourist, but we're gonna leave that alone too. But officially independent for 3 years, and boy oh boy was I a wreck when I first started. I was avoiding listening to the original episodes, which I intended to do because of like my own back end shit, but I avoided it because I was so scared of what I was going to hear. And my fear was that there would be no change. That I would sound then exactly as I sound now, and that there has been no progression whatsoever, and that I am a fraud. And I am a fake, and I am a phony, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Was essentially all of the anxieties. And then I listened. And on that very first intro episode, I was in present day cringing to myself. I was like, baby, you were so scared. ¿Por qué? You fucking loud at like 20%. Not 20%. You're fucking loud like 90% of your life. Like, how are you so scared right now? And, you know, I get it. I get why. Monroe then was terrified. And I've been, you know, slowly but steadily re-listening to all the episodes, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I can see me inside of it trying to creep out and screaming for that attention. And like, I don't mean like outer attention, I mean like self-acknowledgement is the word that we're gonna go with, because that's what I mean. It was that self-acknowledgement of like, hey, like, I'm still here, like, everything you wanted to do is possible. I just need you to be you. And I couldn't really fathom how that even was going to be a thing, right? So, what is imposter syndrome, you ask? Well, by the way, today's episode is in congruence with the latest pop culture episode, and if you are so inclined, which you should totally be inclined, go and listen to it in the link in the description. Now, imposter syndrome is essentially this. Not to be confused with side character syndrome, which is the act of like being... So my example was that Sam is the main character in Lord of the Rings and Frodo's the side character. But essentially that, not making yourself Luigi when you're Mario, right? Or not fucking... God, why can't I think of any side characters right now? Not thinking you're Bon and Elizabeth when you're Meliodas and... I mean Bon and Elizabeth. Hello? Love triangle. Not thinking you're Bon and Elaine when you're Meliodas and Elizabeth. So, side character syndrome is you essentially being the best cheerleader for everybody else and then just being like, okay, on the sidelines, bye. Chilling, right? Imposter syndrome. It is a rough fucking thing. So essentially, like I said, it is this. It is the act of being good at what the fuck you do and denying it. So, por ejemplo, say you get dressed, right? And like you went from damn ma to badass bitch, right? You went from like, okay, you know, I look good to like, damn, papi, like, you know, like real in your shit. And you go, you meet up with your friends, and then one of your friends is like hyping you up, and you're like, yeah, you know, and then you start nitpicking at every little thing. You're like, yeah, well, you know, this is torn, or I got this over here, or I got this over here, or it's nothing, or it was on sale, all this bullshit, instead of simply taking the compliment that is acknowledging that, damn, you fucking look good. It's the same thing with imposter syndrome. Oftentimes, at least in my experience, majority of the time, the reason that imposter syndrome develops is due to traumatic experiences in our childhood. Now, as I've stated before on here many times, there are varying degrees of trauma. Not everything is, you know, the worst end of the spectrum, which can be, you know, physical, financial abuse and all that, and the least of, like, getting bullied, which, like, granted, it's all bad, but you get what I'm saying. There's varying degrees of it. And to each form, it has its own varying degrees. When you experience traumatic situations, traumatic experiences where you are put down, where you are forced to diminish your light in order to keep yourself safe, in order to keep yourself protected, in order to appease someone that is causing you harm, an abuser, a parent, family member, friend, relative, whatever it might be. For example, say you're a little bitty baby, a toddler, por ejemplo, right? Say you're a toddler, say you're like 5 or 6, and you draw a picture. Now, granted, you're a baby. You're not gonna be out here drawing fucking Picassos. I mean, shit, you might. If you are a 6-year-old first off watching this channel, I really hope your parents are with you. Secondly, secondly, if you can draw like that, teach me. Teach me your ways. Like, I'm decent. I'm not gonna say I am Van Gogh. I am decent. My art is this. Say you bring up your drawing, right? And this could be any age, honestly. And you show it to someone you care about, someone whose opinion actually matters. Especially when we're younger, like, we have people who, like, we give a fuck what they think, specifically our parents. We're like, damn. Like, siblings always fight. Siblings are siblings. But especially a parent. You bring it up and you're like, oh my god, look at what I did. And then they're like, oh, cool. And I don't mean, like, if you're a parent and your kid brought you, like, the 100th piece of squiggly line paper that day and you're tired. No, I mean, like, they actually, you know, it's one of those, they sat down and they put that effort in and brought you this thing that they created. And you giving this to your parent, they're just like, oh yeah, no, it's so great, and they're over here busy doing something else, and you're just like, can you please just look at it? And then they're like, oh yeah, no, it's great, whatever. Or they can criticize it and be like, what the fuck is that, right? And just be rude, or then start badgering you and start saying, no, what are you doing? Like, don't fucking do that. That's so stupid. Go do something else. Go do over here. Help me do this. And then that little spark that was so bright, right? We're gonna do a visual representation here. A little spark eventually blows out because that insecurity starts to kick in. That doubt starts to kick in of like, damn, maybe I am trash. Maybe whatever the fuck I'm presenting is not good enough. Maybe I do suck at my art. And then you grow up and you become an adult and you still have your interests and you still have your core hobbies and things that you love to do. And then, and not saying just because of one incident you're gonna like grow up and then it's gonna ruin everything. I'm saying patterns. Happens through patterns. You grow up and you get a big boy, big girl, big person job. And you start doing really fucking good. Because you grew up with the innate mindset that in order to do good, you had to bust your ass. Work hard, play hard mentality. And you succeed rapidly and you grow and you're doing amazing and you get accolades, and your response whenever you get an accolade is, oh, it was nothing. Oh, it's okay. oh no, but I could have done this better. Actually, no, this is horrible. Like, this could have, and you start nitpicking again at everything that could go wrong, at everything that could have gone better in your eyes, because obviously we're our worst fucking critics. We usually are, especially artists, entrepreneurs, people that have gone through trauma, people that have dealt with the need to people please because of their experiences. And then that little nitpicking branches off. And it happens like a vicious little cycle every time you do something. And if you don't check it, then you become indecisive and untrusting in your choices, your actions, your decisions. Like, I know we all joke, like, oh, girls don't know what the fuck they want to eat type of thing. And, like, is it that your girl and her friends don't ever know where they want to eat, or are they just simply dealing with imposter syndrome that every choice that they make is going to be inherently incorrect, even if it's not? Anyway, y'all, my bullshit aside, so how do we deal with imposter syndrome? I'm still learning, right? That's what this whole channel honestly is about, is me learning and delivering whatever the fuck I learn. Imposter syndrome is rough. Imposter syndrome is a rough place to be, because so they talked about it during the Academy Awards. Everything Everywhere All at Once received an Oscar. The two creators were up there, and one of them, he's like standing there, he's like, I'm so sorry that I'm like, you know, literally fucking shaking at this point because my imposter syndrome is kicking in. And I sat on my couch. First off, I cheered. I was like, yes, that's fucking right. Talk about it on national TV. And I was so fucking thrilled because, like, the thing that constantly plays in my head is, oh, by the way, I have a spinny chair. So if you ever see me moving, I'm not physically moving my body. I'm just like in a rolly chair. Whee. Wait. Whee. Little things that provide me dopamine throughout the day. So he said it. And the thing that constantly, not constantly, but on a frequent basis, more than I'd like to admit, plays throughout my head is the scene from Joker. Not Suicide Squad or any of them, but I was gonna say, what? Hello? The one with Joaquin Phoenix, and he says that, like, you know, society is cool with you having a, totally paraphrasing, society is cool with you having a mental illness until you start acting like the illness that you have, and then it's not okay. And we see it all the time, right? We see it all the time on every form of me, like, oh, I have health issues too, and you don't see me being a dick because of them and all this stuff. Absolutely. Always show as much love and kindness as you possibly fucking can, but outbursts are a thing. Outbursts are a thing. Mood swings are a thing. Mood changes are a thing. Like, it is a lot are essentially a chemical imbalance within the brain. There are ways to help cope through this, but imposter syndrome is one of those little lying ass bitches. So she's a little voice inside your head. It's the little voice inside your head that seems like it has a fucking megaphone. It seems like it has a megaphone. None of it looks right. Seems like it has a megaphone. And it's just belting. Especially when you do good. Now, in my drama program, and I'm gonna keep saying it because I was there, but also because I don't know, I think it should be more available to everybody. You know, we all experience traumas in varying degrees, and if programs such as the one that I was at, Compass, here in Chicago, was more readily accessible, maybe we wouldn't have so many people hurting people. But personal opinion. In the program, one of the things that they taught me, and Cara, I love you for this, girl, because my imposter syndrome used to hit a lot more all the time. And I mean all the time, whether it was an outfit that I was wearing, whether it was what I was deciding to eat for the day, whether it was what content I was gonna post. Like, all these voices of putting down the idea were just... And I'm sitting here like, literally like that. Like, then that's the example. I would just sit here and then go into full-blown dissociation, and then hours would pass me by. And I would do nothing of what I wanted to do because the belief that I was not good enough was so strong. And then the exercise that I learned is asking, whose voice is it? What does that mean? It essentially is you sit there and you acknowledge the thought, and then verbally, at least when I first started, I definitely was like, okay, whose voice is this? Because when you're not in that funk, you're doing shit, you're moving. You know, you're out here like, am I on a manic high? Like, I'm just out here doing shit and getting it done. And then when you see it, you're like, oh my God, what have I done? I mean, there's people out here making it doing a lot less with half the fucking talent that you have, my love. So, I don't know who that message was for, but oh, by the way, if you're new to makeup and motivation, this is half scripted and half intuitive, so whatever messages come forth, they might be for you. But I sat there and I was like, okay, one, I'm wasting time. Granted, no time is a waste of time, but in my eyes in that moment, I was like, I could be doing so much more with this time, so much better. And I started doing that. And the more that I started asking whose voice it was, acknowledging it, and then stating, like, you have no power here. You are not physically here. A lot of the voices were people that I once was close to. People still close to me currently. And it was essentially judgments passed on my person from their expectations and beliefs. One of the hardest processes during the journey of self-love and healing and all that good shit is getting to know who the fuck you are without everybody else's opinion. And when the imposter syndrome hits, when you do something really fucking good, say you are a prima ballerina and you have been kicking ass and you have worked for this your entire fucking life and you get it. And you stand on that stage and you fucking kill it, and then you get off and you're like, I am a fraud. I don't deserve to be here. They made the wrong choice. Me? Why me? What the fuck? Or say you work at, enter big name corporation here, and you quickly rise through the fucking ranks of the company and you're doing your shit, and then boom, you are at the national conference for the company and you're giving a speech on that stage and you're standing around and you're like, ooh, I've deceived you all. All of you have been deceived into believing that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Trust me, that hits me a lot. Especially with all the content I'm making. Lord, I'm like, me? We're trusting me with this? Crazy. And it's hearing that voice and in that moment being like, pause. Who's saying this right now? Who is saying this right now to me that requires some form of attention or some thing that I have clutched onto that it's now time to let go of. Because a lot of times, and I can't speak for y'all, but definitely for me, some of my biggest fucking drivers is my anger. It is my anger, it is my hate, my disdain, my wanting to stick it in their faces and just being like, fuck you, I did it anyway type of thing, right? That's big motivator for me. Don't know why I'm like this. I do know why I'm like this, but not the point here. And a lot of times because that in itself is a cycle, right? Our biggest motivator should be ourselves. Our biggest motivator should be ourselves wanting to do good for ourselves because we genuinely deserve a good life. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to enjoy, to explore, to live, not just simply survive. And when I started realizing that is one of my patterns, that I am like, oh, you think I can't do it? Watch me. And then I was like, okay, why am I so adamant about that though? Because let's be real, in not even 5 years, in like a month, is this person gonna matter? There was a thing that I said before on pop culture, and I don't remember what fucking episode, so I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but I said it before, and I was like, if it's not feeding me, fighting me, or fucking me, I don't want it. It has no place in my life. I don't need it. And I know you're thinking like, bitch, fight, toxica. What do you mean? So what I mean by that is, if you're not feeding my mind with knowledge, with like, and all of this is reciprocal, okay? All of our relationships should be to some degree a give and take, an equal exchange, right? If you have kids, that's a little different. I don't know why I'm saying that. So for parents, I saw a thing recently that, and I don't know why it's coming up now, but essentially, and all my lovely hummingbirds out there, if you have suffered abuse at the hand of your parents, I'm so sorry. I love you. There is help. There's resources out there. It will get better. You will heal. Even if with the healing, and I'm sorry to say this for anyone that's not ready, my bad, it just comes with fucking understanding of where they're coming from and their traumas and shit they dealt with. Real sick realizations. Anyway, if you're a parent, it's a little different, right? Like, you have your kiddos and obviously you're giving them everything. But you know, make them do chores. Have like a little allowance system, some shit. But yeah, and yes, again, don't know who this is for, but yes, you will have the capacity to give your babies everything you never had growing up. You will be able to. Just make sure you don't fall into the cycles of forcing them to live the life that you wanted to live. Allow them to be. Anyway, as I was saying, the feeding me, fighting me, fucking me, equal exchange. Feed me, feed my soul, feed my spirit, feed my mind, feed my body, physically. Let's go eat. When I say mind, body, spirit, you know, and really, what is life but all three? Sharing information, intelligence, you know, like if you read something that's super fucking interesting, it's like, hey, tell me about it. If you found this really cool place that you want to go try some random new shit you've never done, let's fucking go. There is this food you want to try making or going out to eat to this new fucking place, let's fucking do it. The fighting me part, I don't mean beat downs and no abuse. No yelling, no kicking, no screaming, none of that. The fight me has to be done with clear communication and a whole lot of love. And that is one of the hardest fucking steps. Because none of us are perfect. And if you're sitting here thinking you are the perfection incarnate, my love, got some work to do. None of us are perfect. Granted, you are beautiful exactly as you are, and you are enough and all that good shit. But we all make mistakes. We're all flawed. We all have moments where we do a lot of shit we really shouldn't be fucking doing. And that's where the fighting comes in. It's not a fight me. It's a fight with me for us to do better collectively. Because we all slip up. We all have our moments. And to some degree, especially for all my loves out there that do have mental health issues, that fight is also a fight for me. Because y'all know when that depression wave hits, you ain't going down for a day. You're going down for 3. At least. And that means nothing in the house is getting done. And that means your hygiene is going down the fucking drain. And that means a slew of things. And in that moment, as the significant other, not saying it's your job or responsibility what the fuck to do, but it's having that awareness to be like, now I know you have an alarm on your phone telling you, hey, you gotta go do this. Why are you not doing it? With love. It's that accountability of holding each other accountable to being the best versions of yourselves that you say you want to be and that you're actually working towards being. Because a relationship is a choice. To be in love is a choice. To be with someone is a choice. And love is not found simply in the good moments. It's found in those shitty moments. Where you might have to hold your significant other accountable. Be like, because you know, we really are in a setting where it's like, fuck you don't want to do it, fuck yourself over. It's like, I don't know, in my opinion. Granted, no babying, no people pleasing, no being this person's parent. I'm not doing that. Not doing that 2023. But hold yourself accountable and remind them of their accountability. The fuck me. Besides physically. Fuck my head up. Show me a new perspective. Live with me. Grow with me. Experience life. Show me a world that I've never seen before, because I definitely will show you one you've never seen before. And if you have people in your life that are not doing those things, you need to reevaluate. Because you can't pour from an empty cup, and a lot of times imposter syndrome comes because you've gone through many cycles of burning out, many cycles of people pleasing, many cycles of abusing yourself, doing shit not aligned with you, self-sabotaging, side character syndrome, and a lot more stuff we're gonna cover on this channel. But how do we kick the imposter syndrome to the curb? Takes work, takes practice, takes time, and it involves acceptance. Acceptance of who you are, acceptance of what is in front of you, talking about it with friends, with family, with loved ones, people in your circle, in your tribe that understand, professional people that understand, and going through the motions of saying, whose voice is this? Why is it present? What is it that I'm lacking in this moment? And by lacking, I mean like, what are your seeds? So if you haven't seen previous episodes of Pop Culture, your seeds are essentially this. And you know, what base function am I, you know, lacking in? And do I need to sleep more? Do I need to eat more? Do I need to exercise? Am I listening to my doctor's orders? Am I doing my self-care? What is it that I need? And if you do find yourself on that big fucking stage and you're like, yo, I've bamboozled you all, they got the wrong bitch. Take a pause and take it in, because you deserve it. Everything that you're doing, everything everywhere all at once, that you are doing to make the life that you want for yourself a reality, is that moment all put together. That is the culmination of every step, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt or insecurity or of lessons that you have had to learn, because failure is not a thing, but even failures, if you want to call them that. And, you know, run through that and sit there and be like, you know what? No. I do deserve this. I deserve this moment. I deserve this moment of joy. And take every day, because it's an everyday thing, to show a little gratitude for yourself. Love on you. But also tell your body, like, hey, I'm glad we woke up today. I'm glad you were strong enough or capable enough to help me do whatever list of items I had. Hey, I'm glad we got to rest today in order to recuperate our energy for tomorrow or whenever the next day. Gratitude is going to be very, very, very important to show yourself, as well as grace. Giving yourself that grace to be like, damn. And acknowledgement. Acknowledgement, understanding, accountability, that you're not perfect and you have made mistakes, but it's okay. And also, at the end of the day, my lovely hummingbirds, none of us know what the fuck we're doing. We're just making it up as we go along. Because honestly, that's life. And some of it just has better scientific proof than others. But you're allowed to wing it. You're allowed, and it's so cheesy, and I know you've probably fucking seen it everywhere on the internet, but I don't care. You are allowed to wake up today and decide to be a completely different fucking person, have a completely different fucking style, do a completely different thing to what you're used to. It is okay to wake up and decide to be you, because there is no one you. You are everything that you love. You are everything that you hate. You are you in your entirety. So be it. But yeah, that's imposter syndrome. What the fuck does this have to do with Wednesday? I don't know. I thought it looked cute. I thought this was a nice little emo look to go with, because she's like so angsty or whatever. And I'm not allergic to color, so... But yeah, that's it for today's episode of Makeup and Motivation. Alright, my lovely hummingbirds, that is it for me today. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. We're gonna do a pick a card tomorrow for a grain of salt, because that's just how I'm feeling. That's the mood, that's the vibe. I hope you like it. And as always, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos, y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna, sending you much peace, many kisses, and reminding you to always look up at the moon. I love you guys so much. God willing, we're not gonna have any more fucking delays as far as content goes, but yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you take time to really show gratitude for yourself. And when the little imposter gnome troll creature starts in your ear, tell it to go fuck itself. You're busy. Shit to do. But yeah, that's it. Okay, I love you. Bye.